Well, hello everybody. How are you today? Um, Today is Wednesday, everybody. You know what that means, right? Wednesdays are what I'm calling our Wise Women's Wednesday. This is where we get together and we jam. We talk about absolutely everything. And today I am really excited. I want to talk a little bit about digestion. I want to talk about how our body clutter is influenced by our digestion. Ah, there's Willow. Hi, Willow. And my daughter just joined. Hi, honey. Hi, Caroline. We got Susan here as well. And anyway, I just wanted to just talk about, digestion today. Digestion is going to be our big topic of the day. It is something that affects all of us. If you have good digestion, fantastic. And then you can just feel good about what you're doing. If you don't have good digestion, I've got some information for you that can change everything. Here's the thing you need to understand. Digestion is the very thing that is going to determine your body clutter. It's going to determine your microbiome. It's going to determine everything. So we're going to talk about that because I think it's critically important. And as you can see, I'm back into my natural habitat of having my hair pulled back up, regardless of all that massive haircut. There's Marla and Nora and Brenda. Lots of Brendas. We got a couple of Brendas here. And Susan, good to see you. Willow, Terry, Rebecca. So glad to catch you. I'm glad to catch you too. I'm glad you're here. So we have kind of a format that we do every week, and at least I've started putting it together. And so today is Wise Women's Wednesday, and I like to talk about a topic that is very influential that all of us, and when I say influential, it's influential to all of us as women. What influences us women? What makes us better? How can nutrition help us? How can understanding, bodily function help us? As Marla and I are getting ready, writing our new book, that's the whole thing that we're looking at is what helps us to become better. That's why we're calling it Body Clutter Wise, because this is the wisdom and our collective wisdom and the things that we're learning from science, that we're learning from each other that helps us to be better. So that's what it's all about. And that's why we're going to be talking about digestion today, because it's something that we don't really pay much attention to digestion unless we're not digesting well. And you know what that feels like. And people with gallbladder issues or don't have a gallbladder or whatever understand that. People who have eat and get acid reflux and or else eat a steak and feel like they've got a brick laying in their stomach, they understand that too. Constipation, digestive issues, all of these things play into how well we do and our wellness overall. Because the thing we have to understand about digestion, it isn't just how well you eat, it's how well you digest. Because if you're eating all the good stuff and you're not getting anything out of it because you're not digesting well, you got to look at that first. That's the first thing that you have to look at. And I just want to say, first of all, a thank you to everybody who shares. When you share these videos, you help other families get dinner on the table, because that's first and foremost, that's what we're all about, is getting families back to the dinner table and getting you back to the dinner table, because that, helps everyone. So sharing this video does that. And I really appreciate it. I know who you are. I see you sharing these videos. Thank you for doing that. And yes, they are on YouTube, and we try to get them on right away afterwards. So if you know somebody who's not on Facebook or whatever, you can go to my Saving Dinner channel on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Saving Dinner, just like this. And sharing is caring. Sharing helps. So thank you again for sharing. And by the way, this is what you win on Mondays. On Mondays, we give out the book. So Annie Faith won this last time, and she claimed it just this morning. So Annie, your book is going to be on its way this week. And I just want to let you know that as you share, I look, and I will definitely be looking to see who's shared this week as well. And maybe you'll win the book on Monday. But I announce it on Monday, so don't forget that. And don't forget, also, on Friday is Q&A. And boy, did we get some great questions. People ask all kinds of things because, you know what? Food influences everything. Did you know that? Your genes are only a part of what happens. There's this thing called, it's a study, it's called epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of your genes and how they're influenced. Everything influences everything, but mostly what you eat is the most influential thing that you do. Your stress, of course, is super influential. Your environment is super influential, but what you eat is influential. And remember what I told you, that food is either for you or it's against you. It's either inflammatory or it's not. You know, it's one of those things that you just can't have a gray area in. So when you say everything in moderation, well, your body's not saying that. Your body's saying, no, girl, that's not true. That is just simply not true. This is inflammatory. Boom, there you go. And you get, you know, raging rosacea like I've had before, or you get thyroid nodules, or you get, you know, plantar fasciitis, or you have aching joints and your hips hurt and you're this and, oh, I'm just getting old. Well, not necessarily. Getting older doesn't mean that you have to fall apart, you know? It just means you need to be really mindful of what it is that's going in, because what is going in is going to influence all of what's on the inside. And today, as I said, it's Wise Women's Wednesdays. You know how I love alliteration, we're talking about digestion. And digestion is crucial. It is amazingly important because, again, if you are malabsorbing, in other words, not getting what you need out of your food, then you're not getting the nutrition that you need and you're getting short-changed. So I want to fix that for you. There's several things that you can do. And wow, look at all these people who've just come in. Look, we're up to 65. We've got up to 100 before. We can do even better than that when you share. So bring them all in. Anyway, yes. I love what Trisha just said. My daughter has Crohn's, but it does not have her. Her former GI told her there was nothing she could do to help resolve the issue. Well, I know that you did not take that to heart, Trisha, because you're saying it doesn't have her. And I've heard so many horrible things. And you know, Glenn Fry from the Eagles passed away from, I think it was Crohn's, or it was some digestive thing. You got to change your eating, you know, because your body cannot handle certain things. But I think that's, you know, that is an extreme case. Crohn's disease is an extreme case, and it's also autoimmune. But for all of us, we all have some kind of little genetic weakness in us somewhere. Mine was in my thyroid. Where I got my autoimmune disease was in my thyroid. And I shouldn't say my autoimmune, I don't claim it. You know, I just say, you know, that happened, and from now on am well. I have a healed thyroid. I have a healed thyroid. That's something that I tell my thyroid every single day. So healing happens. Yeah, I still take thyroid medication, but healing happens. Those nodules are gone. So I'm really happy. And if you want to see that video of my doctor doing the ultrasound on my thyroid saying they're gone, it's right here in this Facebook group. In this Facebook group, if you go to the videos, you can look through and you'll see me laying on a table getting an ultrasound on my thyroid. It happens. You know, good things can happen when you take care of yourself, when you're mindful, when you're a wise woman. And here it is Wednesday. We're doing Wise Women Wednesdays. So digestion is 100% in your corner if you know what to do. So let's just talk a little bit. As we get older, our digestive enzymes just kind of don't work as well as they should. We have digestive enzymes. I've explained this to you before. We start in our mouth. We have this enzyme called amylase. Amylase breaks down carbohydrates. It doesn't happen until we're about a year old. This is why I always say to mothers, new mothers, feed your baby buckwheat cereal as their first thing to eat, not rice cereal, because they don't have the enzyme to break it down. And I found this out the hard way because my baby ended up with eczema as soon as I introduced rice cereal at about 7 months old. He did not have the enzyme to handle it. Raw diaper rash, eczema all over the skin, and found this out later. So just understand, this is physiology. This is just how it works. So you need to have these certain enzymes that break everything down. Carbohydrates, when they say complex carbohydrates, is because they are complex. There's a lot to it. It's not just, there's fiber in there, and there's sugar in there, and there's everything in there. It takes some breaking down. It's broken down all the way through. Protein takes some breaking down. Fat takes some breaking down. And there's all kinds of digestive enzymes that are responsible for that. Well, past the age of 35, we start to not be so effective with the digestive enzymes. in our bodies that we're producing naturally. So sometimes we need a little help. And I've already explained a couple of things that you can do. First of all, chew thoroughly. Chewing thoroughly is just something that those of us who have gulping issues and eat really fast, I am one of them, and I have to remind myself constantly, chew thoroughly, slow it down. There's no race going on. The other thing you need to look at is when you're chewing that fast and eating that fast, you're probably going to eat more than you really need. So when we sit down and we eat a couple of bites and we put our fork down in between, oh my gosh, what a concept, we can start to feel a little bit better, and we can allow that digestive process to happen. Because as we're digesting, it takes a minute. It takes a minute before it, splash, touchdown, and our brains are registering, oh, I might be full. This is the triggering of the leptin and the ghrelin is when we're eating. This is how we trigger it. The leptin lives in our stomach and the ghrelin's in our fat, or it's the other way around. I keep forgetting. But they're hormones, and the hormones are basically just messengers. We have all kinds of like 150 hormones in our bodies, and they're just telling the brain all the different, the different functions of what's going on, and they communicate back and forth. That's what happens with hormones. So I like to always think of them as, running around doing the things that they're supposed to do. So we want to give them clear pathways. We want them to be able to register what exactly is going on. And when you're on any kind of like even a fast, or if you're on any kind of a calorie restricted diet or whatever, the ghrelin and the leptin are going to go a little, can get a little bit off. And so the way that we can, sort of fix that, if you will, is we can do our sprints. Sprints help. Movement is amazing. Movement changes things up. So I've been doing my sprints. The green means 4 sprints, and I've done, so far today, I have done 12 sprints. So that's just up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. Fantastic. And it makes a difference. And I've noticed a difference on my appetite. My appetite, again, is influenced by ghrelin and leptin. And, that's all a part of the digestive process as well. But if you have, if you know that you're one of these people that, need Tums, or what, you get the acid reflux or whatever after eating a meal, a couple of things that you can do is, one of the things that you can do is take some apple cider vinegar before you eat. Now, don't just do it straight. You'll destroy your teeth. And you can upset your stomach. You're going to want to take a tablespoon or less, depending on where you are. If you have very sensitive digestive tract, you might want to do even less than that. But generally, it's a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with 8 ounces of water, and you drink that, not glug, 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 but just kind of sip it, and a good half hour before you eat. And that's going to help. That's going to kind of help with the enzyme process of what's going on in your stomach. That will help. For others, now for me, I had such horrible digestion and such, just stomach aches and lots of growling and all kinds of things going on. So you need to also look at, do I have any food sensitivities? And, there's food sensitivity tests that you can take. You can get them on Amazon for less than $100. And they go through, and it's a blood test, and you just prick your finger and make the little blood thingy and send it back to the lab. You can do it that way. Or the other thing you can do is just keep a journal. Keep a journal, how you feel after you eat certain things. And I know for a fact that there are times when you just don't feel so good when you've eaten something. And you know it too. You know times when things just aren't quite right. So you got to be really kind of conscious and mindful, again, back to that word, mindful, of when you're eating, what causes you distress, and write it down. I always suggest that you write it down, and even like my hips hurt, my stomach hurts, I get gassy, whatever your thing is, whatever it is that is bothering you after you eat, like, within an hour after you've eaten, just write it down, just jot it down. And then after about 10 days, go back and take a look, and you can start connecting the dots. Because what happens oftentimes is we think, yeah, that just doesn't make me feel well, but then we don't remember exactly what it was, and having it written down gives you a record and helps you to know where to go with that. So it makes a huge, 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 huge difference. And then the other thing is, and this is something that I do, I have digestive enzymes. I got them on my cart. This is something that you can get, and I highly recommend. And as a matter of fact, when we did a Take Back Your Body workshop at my house, you know, we had steaks. Mark prepared these gorgeous steaks. We had steaks with this lovely compound butter. We had purple potatoes. We had all kinds of things that we had. But steak traditionally is one of those things that just kind of lands in my stomach, and I don't feel so great afterwards. But if I take digestive enzymes, I'm fine. And I just need that extra help. It's a big, heavy protein, and sometimes you need help. So I keep a bottle of these in my kitchen, and I have another bottle that I keep in my purse just in case when we're out. And you can always take them afterwards too, and it makes a difference. And there's different things in here that different types of enzymes in there, and you can take a look at it. If you go to savingdinner.com, it's right there on the page. It says supplements and shopping. It's right up on the right top of the page. You'll see it. And by the way, people have asked me over and over again, I don't get notifications for your videos. How do I get notifications for your videos? Well, if you'll look on the Saving Dinner page, the very front part of the page, right where it says liked or whatever, under liked, you put followed, click on follow, and underneath that, it'll say get notifications, then click on that. So there's all those drop-down menus, and you know, it's a simple thing to Google and find out if you don't remember what I just said, but I'm just letting you know that's how you get notifications about this show. But I am here Monday through Friday, at least, from 1 o'clock till we're done. And usually it's about a half an hour, but sometimes we go to 30 minutes. Sometimes we go to 45 minutes or an hour, especially on Fridays with FAQs. And if that reminds me, if you have a question, a nutrition question, a cooking question, or you know, you just want me to say something random, well, you don't want that. Just you want to send a question in to support@savingdinner.com and just say for Q&A on Friday. I have a question on Friday. You can be anonymous too if you want, if something's just like really, you know, you're kind of worried about it. But you know, I've been a nutritionist for 25 years, for over 25 years. So I do understand how it works. I understand about supplements. I'm very persnickety and very picky about supplements, and understand the word supplement's a good word. Supplement, like as in supplement your good healthy diet. Supplement the healthy lifestyle you're already, you know, going after. It's not instead of. You can eat a big fat crappy diet and take all the great supplements you want. It's not going to help. You know, it's sort of like, you know, I'm, you know, trying to come up with a great metaphor, but it's like frosting a dog poop. Sorry, that's gross. But you know, that's not a cupcake. We all know what's underneath there. You cannot do that. You cannot make anything good happen if you're not already doing the very basic things. And you have to move, you have to hydrate, and you have to eat an anti-inflammatory diet. The end. And then we can start looking at, okay, so now what are you dealing with? Now that you've got those three things happening in your life, what are you dealing with? You know, do you fight a little, you know, depression? I've got all kinds of stuff I can show you about, by the way, my little bag of tricks here. Are you having an issue with cravings, for example? Where cravings, okay, I've got something for that. This works, Crave Crushers, and this helps with the leptin thing that we just talked about. We've got those in the store. You can go check them out, and you can read about them, and you can find out, guess what? All based on science, you know, and these supplements themselves have been tested, and each batch is tested, each batch. And yeah, so yeah, you can buy something, you know, like the Leptifix or whatever cheaper. You can buy fish oil that's cheaper. But I'm going to tell you right now, you won't have it verified that it's clean. Our Bio Omega-3 is amazing. It gives you 3 times the impact of what it says on the back of it because of the way that it's processed. And they've got, again, studies for that. So every single one of my supplements that you see on my page pharmaceutical grade. Each batch is tested and independently. I've been to the facility. I've seen how they prepare it and clean it. It's clean, clean, clean. And I've been to dirty supplement facilities before as well, which was pretty frightening. So you always have to remember you get what you pay for, unfortunately. So that's something to really take into consideration. So let's see. So Fawn was cooking 10 pounds of hamburger for the week. Good for you. And you did it all in your crock pot. Fantastic. The thing is, we always have the option of preparing ahead of time. It's always just a matter of planning. And this is what wise women do. Wise women plan. Wise women eat healthy. And wise women then supplement with things that where they're kind of missing the mark so they can get it all together. That's what we do. That's what being wise means. So, you know what? I didn't even tell you what our quote of the week is. How can I miss that? Our quote of the week is, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, it's a habit. I love this so much for so many reasons. And, one of the things that I like is I like having habits that become automatic. My evening routine and my morning routines are exactly that. I've been doing them since I was introduced to them by the Fly Lady herself way back when in 2000. And it changed my life. It changed my life so much. I was able to homeschool. I was able to freelance, do my freelance writing work that I was doing at the time. And I was able to keep a home that wasn't scary to come into. There used to be a part where, and I understand that when I found Fly Lady, I was living in an 1860s farmhouse. We had no dishwasher. We had an old farm sink, like an old, they're cool now, but back in the day, they were just like this old, looked like a big washer farm sink, and the with the soap dish on the top on the thing, and the sink and everything was all together with the different side pieces. And it was just, how do you keep this thing clean? I had a piece of wood that I had a friend build for me, and it was my plant. I had it, years ago in California for my plants. Well, I brought that in the house and I used that as part of my kitchen. I'm telling you, our kitchen was semi-primitive. We had a well that didn't produce enough water that sometimes my kids had to, bathe after each other in the dirty water. It was that bad. That's what we lived in this old farmhouse. And I homeschooled there, and we had the attic was sort of out over the eaves and that's where I had my little homeschool room all set up. We had bookcases galore with all kinds of books in it, but I managed with to keep it together, and it was only because routines helped me do that. And when you have these routines, it gives you the opportunity to have other things in your life besides just housework. Same with planning your dinner. You don't want to always be thinking about, what am I going to cook? I've got to go to the grocery store. I got to do this. I got to do that. You want to open your brain up for other things in your life. Same with your health. You can get into automatic pilot when you have the bookends of your life, your morning routine and your evening routine handled. And it just becomes gradual. It just becomes done. This is just what you do. After 19 years, or 20 years even, I guess, I'm close to 20 years, I can tell you it's automatic. And not that, everything is perfect at all times, certainly not. But, at any time somebody could drop by and my house is clean. I like that. At any time somebody can drop by and I could fix a quick meal. At any time somebody can drop by and I'll have tea ready for them so that we can sit down and chat. And that's what we all want. We want that feeling of hospitality, and having hospitality be part of our lives. And hospitality is something, Jesus was hospitable. He brought people in, even if they showed up unannounced. He was able to do some pretty miraculous things with just one fish and, how many fishes were there? Like one fish and 3 loaves? I don't remember. But it doesn't matter, does it? It's just that things can happen. Miracles can happen when you're open to what is possible in your life. And for me, it was starting with those morning routines and the evening routines. As a matter of fact, I have a Take Back Your Life journal that I would love to take you guys on this journey, because this was one of the things that really helped to be me. I feel like it's Wise Women Wednesday. This is something really to share, but instead of doing 1-year goals, which overwhelmed me and never happened, I do 90-day goals, because I can keep my eye on the prize. I can keep on that, and doing these sprints. Those are part of my 90-day goals right now. That's part of my movement plan. And I've got some little weights. I'm trying to do some little upper body weights, because I want to be strong with my upper body. I don't want to ever be one of these women who falls and can't get up, and it's not like I'm elderly and all of that, but I am 61. I need to be aware that strength is important. I need to be able to be strong. We all need to be strong. Even if you're not picking up babies anymore, you're still picking up groceries. You're still picking up 50-pound bags of food at Costco for your dog. You're still doing things, and you don't want to be that helpless woman who has to call for someone. So being strong is a way of being empowered, and it's a wise woman's thing. This is what wise women do. They become strong in every way possible. We become strong in our thinking. We can become strong in our bodies, and we become strong in our ways. We don't put up with junk. We speak up. We don't just sit there and suffer in silence. We speak up. Now, give me some love. If you've been one of those women who've suffered in silence and just haven't really, spoken up before, but you want to change that, show me, because I want to help you change that. This is what we do, because excellence is not an act, but it's a habit. And part of being excellent is speaking your truth, and speaking it in love, and speaking in a way that's caring and showing somebody else that you care. So if somebody is speaking ill of you or saying something, going up to them and saying, you always say this and you always say that, that's never going to happen. But if you walk up to somebody and you say, hey, you know what, this isn't working, and these are the reasons why I feel like this, and you talk from your own truth and don't blame the other person, things shift, things change. And I've learned that the hard way. Let me tell you, the hard way. So you don't have to learn it the hard way. You just learn it the easy way. The easy way is taking responsibility for yourself and being a strong woman with a voice that's not afraid. Stop being afraid. We don't live in third world countries where we need to be fearful. We need to be strong, and we need to be eloquent, and we need to take responsibility for ourselves. And we do that when we speak up for ourselves, and we use the I word. I feel this way. I feel that way. And don't set blame and throw it onto other people. It's just crazy town. But that's how we become strong. That's how we become wise women. We become wise women by taking care of ourselves all the way. And that's part of the body clutter mentality. The body clutter mentality is getting rid of the stuff that no longer works. You remember the definition of insanity, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, why would we do that? Why do we do that to ourselves? We do it with our kids. We act shocked when our children, leave their stuff on the ground, or they don't pick up after themselves, or whatever. Well, give them a routine, give them a habit, show them how to do something different, and expect that as how they do things, and it will turn around. Marla said this one time when we were talking, when she was having her show, and she was talking about picky eaters and all of that. And I will tell you that the thing with children is picky eating, it becomes a habit, and that is not excellent. Picky eating is something that their palates need to be trained. I talked about that, I think, the beginning of the week or last week. Their palates need to be trained. They're going to, of course, migrate towards sweet. You know what? Breast milk is sweet. They start that way. We have very developed palates for sweet. We like sweet. And sweet doesn't like us back. If you've been sitting on any body clutter, you understand. If you're pre-diabetic, diabetic, or whatever, you understand. Sweet does not like us. Sweet doesn't do us any favors whatsoever. But we need to train our children into the world of savory, even bitter, into the world of all these different taste sensations. So they need to try things over and over and over again. Now, when we were growing up, you know, we got punished, man. We sat at the table with warm milk, you know, while everybody else is doing something else. We sat at the table until we cleaned our plate. We don't have to do that. We don't have to be punitive about it. We just need to be gentle and kind. We don't need to be shrews. We just need to offer it and say, hey, so here's your plate of things that I know you'll eat. And here are some things that we haven't had really great success with in the past, but I'd like you to take a bite and just eat that one bite. That's it. And negotiate your way through it. Now, kids have, and you know this, there are some kids who are so stubborn and they will not move. But you have the opportunity to go back and to keep hitting the reset button, especially if you've given your kids a lot of stuff that you know you shouldn't, you know? Especially, I don't want you to feel that kind of guilt. What I want you to feel is empowerment. And I want you to understand that the foundational things that they need those vegetables, they need those fruits, they need that protein, they need those good healthy fats, they need that stuff. They're building their foundation right now. Yours is built. You're there. Theirs is being built. This is the raw materials you're getting to create their foundation. And as wise women, we look for the very best that we could possibly give them. Now, I don't say this to say go to Whole Foods and spend your entire paycheck and make sure it's organic, this, that, and the other thing, and go, you know, whatever. What I'm saying is try to get away from snack foods. Snack foods is one of those things that makes me completely crazy because, you know, years and years ago, there were no snack foods. There was not a whole aisle of chips and crackers and cookies and gobbledygook and fruit roll-ups and gummy this, that, and the other thing. Oh, but it's made with fruit juice, so it's healthy. Oh, but it's made with whole grain, non-GMO, fill in the blank. All of that stuff's crap. Do you understand that? It's all crap. We need to be giving our children and ourselves, by the way, things that are whole food. They can easily identify when you pick it up and hold on to it. And I show you an apple, you know it's an apple and there's no other ingredients. Single ingredient foods is what your children need for snacks. Now for you, for snacks, speaking of digestion, Wise Women Wednesday, you don't need snacks. We don't need snacks. We need to train ourselves. The problem is we've been snacked ourselves into our body clutter situation, like, you know, cows out on a field grazing. And by the way, news alert, we don't have 5 stomachs, you know, and we're not chewing cud and getting more grass and throwing it up and chewing it again. Although we almost are because we're constantly eating, for heaven's sakes. So right now, I just want to apologize to everybody for if you've bought Body Clutter and you're reading, what are you talking about? In the book, you're saying you need to have 5 meals a day or 4, lots of small meals a day. Well, I take that back. Sorry. You know, that falsehood was perpetuated by bodybuilders, male bodybuilders who needed to eat about 8,000 calories a day. So that's what they started, and it became a thing in the nutrition community. And then all of a sudden, you know, the studies followed and this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So maybe that's part of the problem. You need to keep your, you know, blood sugar levels up. If you keep your blood sugar levels up, you're not going to get hungry. Well, that's true. But guess what? We need to feel hunger. We cannot possibly get our hunger hormones in order if we don't feel hunger. We throw them off. Our ghrelin and our leptin are just, you know, gone. And it doesn't work. It works for maybe a short period of time, but overall, no, it does not. And so we have to look at that. We have to look at how these things work. So all that said, Wise Women's Wednesday. If you have digestive problems, it's not because you have a lack of stomach acid, it's because your stomach acid is pushing up. That's it. Sometimes you need more stomach acid, believe it or not. You just don't need it pushing up. Digestive enzymes help. They help tremendously. So if you have an issue with digestion, try the apple cider vinegar. If you really have had an issue with digestion, before reaching for those times, start reaching for some digestive enzymes before you eat a meal that you know is going to take you down that path. They work. They're huge. It's amazing. So this week, guess what? We have a great, huge sale going with Dinner Answers. Dinner Answers is our proprietary menu planning system. You have access to every single recipe we've ever created on Dinner in Saving Dinner. We've been around for 19 years. So you know there are thousands of recipes on that database, and you get access to that when you're a Dinner Answers subscriber and member. You also have menus that are all made up for you, whether you're keto, whether you're AIP, whether you're paleo, low carb, or you just want classic family food that's tasty and healthy. All of that is there. You can choose your menus, and they're made for you every week. You can edit them. You can create your own. You can do it the way you want, and you can get the grocery list is automatically made for you. How do you like that? You can send that to your husband. Make him do the work. Yeah, I like that a lot. So it's all done for you. I do all the heavy lifting. Getting dinner on the table is a big deal. Getting dinner on the table is a game changer, and it changes your life. Right now, $20 off for the yearly subscription, which already is a screaming deal. And $20 off, that means it's $77 for the whole year. We're talking $7, less than $7 a month. That's pretty cheap. And guess what? We send a bunch of bonuses in the way that you eat with all kinds of stuff that it's heavy duty. As a matter of fact, Sandra, I should read sent me this fabulous testimonial. She said, "You weren't kidding about the bonuses. I had all this great stuff. I really appreciate it." And you also get the Body Clutter, the new edition. I don't know what we're calling it, whatever we're calling it. Marla, you tell them what we're calling it. But yeah, you get that, and it makes all the difference in the world, because you can see the updates that we have in there about intermittent fasting, about how to start your day. And one of the things that we're talking about now, and I've completely renamed it and called it the Target Trifecta, and that's protein, fat, and fiber. You can remember the Target Trifecta, right? Those three things need to be on your plate every single day, every time you eat a meal. You're getting that fiber, you're getting the fat, and you're getting the protein. You will stay full, okay? And that fat, when we talk fat, we're talking good, healthy fat. You know what good, healthy fat is? Like fatty salmon, for example, seeds, butter. Yes, butter, never margarine, never margarine. Karen's asking about gallbladders. Yeah, dinner for one person, yes, you can get that. We have dinner for two, and then just keep the leftover for another time. Yeah, that's a good idea. Gallbladder, though, gallbladders, when you have a gallbladder, you know what that means? It just means that all that digestive acid is, is just like leaking out into your gut. And it does make a difference, because the gallbladder is where the fat is emulsified and what have you. But here's the thing. Eating smaller meals helps. Being very, very mindful. Do the apple cider vinegar before, like I talked about. Digestive enzymes would be a big, big help for anybody. I have a compromised gallbladder. In other words, I've had several gallbladder attacks, three in my lifetimes. From, I guess, 15 years ago, I had my first one, and then I had two consequently. They wanted to take it out, but I insisted on an ultrasound. It was still in good shape, and they gave me something to help, and it just made it all better. So I always say, question everything. When they want to start taking body parts out, start questioning it, and just ask for the proof that, proof it's no longer working. Because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll happily take it out. They did the same thing with my tonsils. They wanted to take my tonsils out, but we waited and waited till finally it was just like, had to take them out. And I'm not suggesting that anybody who has gallbladder pain or whatever doesn't see a doctor or whatever. Go see a doctor. And if they say take it out, then just ask them for an ultrasound. Find out, is your gallbladder in good shape before they take it out. Ask if there's another way that they can do it besides taking it out. We have parts because we need them. That's, that's just the way it is. If you have a rotten, like Brenda said, she had hers rotted, then yeah, take it out. I mean, you've got to do what your doctor says, of course. I'm not suggesting otherwise. I'm just suggesting that it's just because you have a gallbladder attack is not an automatic operation if you can help it. Ask your doctor. Work with your doctor. Okay? I'm just putting a little, dropping a seed. That's it. All right. 4 to 5 Pepsis a day, and he's a diabetic. Oh my goodness. There is a no soda for me pledge right here on this page. But, think about it this way. Would you want soda to have that much control over your life? Would you want soda? Or I had an M&M thing. M&Ms were controlling my life. You don't want that. You want to be in control. Who's in control of your life? Is it you, or is it some food or some junk that's just taking over? You start thinking about it in those terms and things start to change in the way you think. Just saying. All right. It's time to go. I've got to get some work done, and you've got to get back to work as well. I hope you found today to be helpful. If you have, please share this video and help other people with this as well. And NutriCoach appointments are available, and I've got 2 fly babies that I'm talking to this week, which I'm really excited about. So you can find out about NutriCoach by going to NutriCoachSchool.com. 3 o'clock today, we're going to have tea with the Fly Lady. So don't forget, Facebook.com/theflylady. I love tea time. It's always there's a great topic every time. And, it's a great time to just stop for a minute and catch a breath and have a nice cup of tea. What was the other thing? Send in your questions so that you can get them answered this Friday, because I'm happy to answer them. And, stock alert, we are out of SAMe. But it's on the way, it's ordered and it's on its way in, and we're low on the vanilla and the chocolate protein. Can you believe that? You guys just zoomed right through it. We have plenty of unflavored, which that's what I use, and you can always flavor it up with your own vanilla, your own chocolate, and a little stevia. Makes a big difference. But that's being ordered as well. Tonight, we are going to be, and I'm going to say, Marla's coming over at 5, so I'm going to say at 5:30, we are going to start cooking. And you can watch it here on this exact page. We're going to do a live tonight, show you how to make hot melt spaghetti. It's going to be a blast. Plus, Marla and I haven't cooked in probably 10 years together, so we're going to have a hootin' good time. We'll have the wine going, we'll have the dinner ready to go, and then we're just going to let you get the recipe. We'll have the recipe available. You watch. All right. If you need anything at all, if you have questions, send them to support@savingdinner.com, and I will answer them on Friday. Thanks for joining me today. I hope Wise Women's Wednesday helped. I hope you had your digestion questions answered. I don't really see much in the stream, but again, I'm happy to help. Send your questions into support@savingdinner, and we will get them answered. Again, share means you care. I appreciate you. Have a good day.